Zero is obviously now going to always be associated with the film. Also, I just think, you know, it's like a full circle after, I don't know, 38 years, if you mention it. But, you know, having worked for so many years, you know, and trying to play a hero type, I think it's a good comeback to play the Zero type, because that's who I was, and I think that's who I am. I'm nothing and I'm still complete, and that's what the film should be. That, you know, we should believe in the ordinariness of who we are, and know that God, Bhagwan, Allah, Supreme Being, he didn't create us in the imagery of perfection. He gave us all a little bit of less, and we also think so. But I think the film celebrates the fact that who we are is the best that can be. It's one life. Don't let it go away because you think, oh, I'd rather be living somebody else's dream. Just live your dream, and that's what the protagonists in the film do. Anushka's character, who's got cerebral palsy, my character, who actually doesn't give a damn how tall or short he is, and Katrina, who's emotionally has issues with life, being the most beautiful woman in the world, and how all three of them, because of this story and happenings, come together for a bit and move on. But somewhere down the line, it makes them realize that you are the best version of you, and that's what being Zero is about: complete and nothing. How do I say? Maybe I'm emotionally not as well endowed as everyone else. Films don't change me. I feel like telling a story because I feel it. I feel something about the story. More often than not, my directors and writers, Anand Rai and Himanshu, tell me, you philosophize so much about the film, but this is just a fun film. So I'm like, okay, sorry. But there is a reason for it, that I get into it, and and I hope I can write about some of the films that I got into one day, for the emotional reasons, and they never came through in the film. But to me, the attachment as an actor, as an artist, as a producer, is always that little essence that only I can see and feel, and maybe it doesn't come across in films. But for me to get up in the morning and do it comes mainly from that essential part of the film, which may not be, and I don't make very, how do you say, overt films. You know, I'm assuming films which have a hidden message. Mine is not there for a slapped on your face that, oh, this is amazing, and see, this is empowering. Right? I can't do that. I don't think films are for messages. Films are for entertaining you and somehow touching a chord, which perhaps you also can't figure out at that point in time. For perspective, I think the other actors had more difficult aspect, you know, because Anushka said this to me, that, you know, and you can't, this film is without a body double. Everything is with me. So we've created the eye lines for the actors through, the set is like a Lego set, you remove and make me 1.5 feet shorter. But to do it on streets and in New York with cars and all, it's really difficult, because then you have to make them all higher sometimes. It's called anti-pit, where you, and the visual effects company, the Red Chili's VFX, has done a great job. And I speak of them as an outside company, not as my company, because they've gone beyond what I thought this company can do. So I'm really thankful to Harry and Ketan. But I think for me, what was difficult was that you act out a scene and you don't know how it will turn out on a person who's 1.5 foot shorter. You know, so sometimes you thought you've done well and it doesn't turn out as good. And sometimes you don't think you've done it according to what you wanted, and it turns out magnificent. So I think that learning process was difficult as an actor, to adjust to that, you know, and there are a lot of other people who keep coming into your shooting as assistant directors, like choreographers and action masters, and they are not part of the film as much. So when sometimes I'm doing something, you know, you'll get a choreographer to say, "Bhai, waise nahi hua acha, can we do it like that?" And but I know, and the director knows, that this will suit the person when he's 4 feet 5 inches, and we can't explain it because you see it only 3 months later. You can't see it there and then. So that adjustment has been there, and yeah, some of the scenes I think Anand and myself have done wrong. Some of them, without realizing, we've done them really right. see, without taking away from visual effects heavy films, where you know there's a visual effects, including Ravan. Ravan was a stepping stone towards launching this company in a big way. And I think we achieved a lot. And today when we see big films like Bahubali or 2.0 or what have you, they're all part of that culture that has come into India over the years. Krish. But this one is a film where if you saw the visual effect, it will be ineffective.
So it has to be seamless.
Yeah, if you can tell it's a visual effect, then the film has failed as a visual effects film. And I think that's where I personally believe Red Chilli's work is comparable to the best in the world. Because if you can make out, I mean, even this photograph I can still make out, but in the film you can't make out. This is done by a different set of people, amazing job. But this is just one image. You have 2.5 hours, 24 seconds, 24 images in 1 second. So imagine thousands and thousands of images which have to be corrected, and they've done it quite well. I think it's quite a stroke of genius to have matched this. I tell your editor Jipesh that this will be the film which, and it's all right. I don't say it in a condescending or a bad way. This is a film which Filmfare would not give an award to because they won't be able to tell the visual effects, and they'll choose a film over it because they can see the visual effects. So yeah, so the victory of this film is that it should look like the least VFX film from the most VFX cinematic experience in the country.
Is there a difference?
Yeah, Abram feels that I'm playing him. Just before I flew here, I showed him, I think, the new song with Salman. I was showing it to my wife and he said, "Oh, this is the one, you're like me." My son, elder son, thinks it's a very difficult story to tell because he heard it. He's learning filmmaking in America, and he heard the story because he wanted youngsters to hear it. They want 2.5 years ago, and he caught on to some parts and he said, "It's a very difficult film to say, but don't make it easy." So I'm very encouraged that my then 19-year-old son said, "Don't make this film easy. Make it as difficult as you can." And I think my daughter loves it. She's an actor. She thinks Anushka and Katrina are amazing. I don't know, zero normally people attribute. I mean, that's hopefully what we will turn around with the film. That zero is not to be looked at as nothing. It has to be looked at as a complete. It's your perspective of life. So are you seeing zero as, oh, it's zero life, or are you seeing zero as what a complete wholesome life it is? Yeah. So one of the most zero moments in, if I was to take the first point of view, is perhaps losing your parents very early on in life. That, oh God, this life is so zero. And then perhaps because of losing them, I went on a path which has made me who I am and given me 3 beautiful children and a wife and a sister and a lovely life. So I think that zero made me accept the fact that this is the life I have, and I have to make the best of it and recreate my parents in the form of my children, maybe, as strange as it sounds, to fulfill my emotional needs. And I managed to do that, and that's like now a whole. So from zero to zero, I think that's how I would describe it. I was in Delhi when I watched Devi in films, and she's beautiful, she's wonderful, one of the finest actors the country's ever produced, or the world maybe. And so she was very kindly and loving when I called her for the film, and it's extremely unfortunate. Actually, the strange thing is, some people are so strong in your lives that even when they're not around, you don't believe they're gone. And I think Devi ji is one of them. So I'm extremely grateful to her personally for having been so kind to me when I started my career. And I've had an equation with her all my life where we don't meet too often, but we always knew we loved each other a lot. And I wish her children the best, the family the best. And I know wherever she is, she's making the world around her very happy. See, I have a different take on being an influencer. I think these blatant exclamations of coming and saying, don't do this, don't do that. I think just by doing that so loudly, most of us are actually bringing into prominence things which should be completely discouraged and disregarded. By calling white white and saying black is wrong, we are actually, the whole idea of this film is that the characters don't seek empathy. They don't want sympathy. Equality is not about treating the less in a better way. Equality is about treating the less in the same way as you would treat the more. Or that's equality. Equality is not, getting up and, how do you say it? I think sometimes we sell equality as compassion and niceness, and that's the whole subject of the film. That please, nobody wants empathy.
Be as normal as possible.
Absolutely, it's equal. Equal means no empathy either, and no aggrandizement. As an influencer, the idea that I would tell people is, be happy who you are. I'm the most ordinary person in the world. I'm not the best looking. I'm not the most talented. I'm not the most gifted. But because somewhere people made me trust in myself, when I came to Mumbai and acted, or in my personal life, my children, because they believe I can be a good father, I turn out to be a good father. Just have confidence. And when I say confidence, not overconfidence. Just believe this is the best version of you. And this is what you got. And this is the one first and last shot at life you have. Don't waste it in trying to be someone else, in getting body shamed or body shaming anyone. That's really stupid. I don't think anybody has the right to do that, because, how do I say it? If you think I'm quite a big star and stuff, I don't have a perfect body, and I can never have. Look at my nose. So there's nothing like perfect. The beauty of imperfection is that there is variety, and each one of us is unique and holds an important place and space in the scheme of things that nature and God has created. Feel proud of who you are, because nature would not go ahead without you. So you are the most important as the next person, before you and after.